Welcome to the TV and Movie Review Show, bringing you a review on the latest TV shows and movies. So let's jump into it. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, how are you doing out there? Thank you for tuning in. This is your host Jazzy929, and this is my TV and movie review show. Today I'm going to be reviewing Greenleaf. I cannot believe this is the 4th episode already. We are in season 4. This season seems to be going pretty fast, which I do not mind, because I am one to keep up, because this is very, 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 very good this season. The show has been most definitely good so far. The first episode I had to really try to get into. I wasn't into the show in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, this season. I wasn't into the show, but after the second episode, I'm fully getting y'all. But with that being said, like I said, we are in season 4. This is episode 4. This episode was called A Common Enemy. Let me go ahead and tell you my quick review of this show, or my quick summary, and tell you about a couple things that stood out for me from the show. We see Bobby returns from Memphis. He returns to Memphis. I'm sorry, y'all, and to remind Grace that he is in charge, and they exchange some things between each other, and they try to go ahead and pitch new ideas for Calvary and a mission and everything. These are some things that stood out for me in this show. We see Bobby wants Grace to be head pastor at a church. To my understanding, as it is explained in this show, the church is a white congregated church. It's called Fairview. My whole thing about that didn't bother me is I don't think it really matters if a church is a white congregation or a black congregation. I think that as far as race, it really doesn't matter. Why not combine them both? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. We see sorry, y'all. We see Grace moves her son into town. I love that. You know what I'm saying? And she has him stay at her place. He got his own place now. He's comfortable. And I see that their little relationship is bonded. She is going to visit him here and there. I think in this episode we only seen her visit him once. That bothered me a little bit. I would like for her to go visit him more often. And something else I noticed that I didn't like is that boy is being left alone so much that he's drinking too much. And not just that, Grace needs to tell her family about this boy. She hasn't told her family about this boy yet. And, she's just keeping him a secret, and that's not good. We see Bishop wants to preach again, and this is at another church. We see that May isn't too fond of this ideal, but, that Bishop's going to do what he wants to do. We see Paul and Charity are still trying to take down Grace. Charity is just too much for me. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to see right through Charity's little web. That's what I'm going to call it. You know what I'm saying? She is so scandalous, it don't make no sense. I don't like Charity's character at all now. I used to feel kind of sorry for her, but at this time, it's like, We see that Paul and her are out to get, like I said, get Grace, and they are trying to figure out, I think Charity's trying to figure out why her sister went ahead and took that trip. And we see that she called Noah and to find out some information. That was her intention, I think, when she called, but she got the voicemail, and she left a message on there. And we see in this episode that Noah tells Grace in a phone call that Charity called, and his wife heard the message and found out he was in town, or he went to town to see Grace. And he went ahead and told his wife everything about his son, and she Noah's wife kicked him out. But that was all because Charity did that. Made that phone call and left that message. That was so foul. Charity knew exactly what she was doing. that made me so mad. I hope she gets what's coming to her. We see Sophia is back. Yes, I was so excited to see Sophia back. But the thing that bothered me this whole episode was Sophia was so dang sad. And she is carrying around her mother's secret. And this is causing, you know what I'm saying, division between her and Zora. Then we see May in this whole episode, or not the whole episode, but the episode we see in this episode. A portion of this episode, May is trying to figure out, what's wrong with Sophia. She didn't know Sophia was back in town, and she sees that Sophia is going through something right now, and she sees that Sophia can't speak out about it, but she tries to get her to, but it doesn't work at all. We see that Sophia in this episode visits her brother, which I think is so great. And it looked like they bond. The only thing I had a problem with is that boy having Sophia drinking. I did not like that, but, it was like a sister and brother bond, so the alcohol was acceptable, I guess. At least they wasn't smoking weed or anything. But, yeah, it seems like she wants to, as far as Sophia wants to get to know her brother, I want to know if anybody felt a funny vibe there. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it, and I hate saying this. I really do. But with this boy, I feel like I get a funny vibe off of him. And the whole time him and Sophia's in the house together, I'm like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't do anything to her. To the point where he put the blanket on her, and that's when I felt safe. Like, oh my goodness, I think he's trustable. You know what I'm saying? Around this young lady. But before he put that blanket on her, I thought, I don't know. I didn't know what he would do to her. I thought he was going to get her drunk and try to do things to her. But I'm happy it didn't go that way. And I think that the vibe that I got, you know what I'm saying, about this boy has kind of tensed up. I hope that later on in this episode or this season we don't see anything that's shady about him. Because I want his character to be good. I really and truly do. I think the boy's hurt, which is understandable. And then I know he probably still is hurting more because his mother is still keeping him a secret. Did anybody think that when in the last episode Grace told him she wanted him to come home, that he was going to go to the main house with her? And also, was it something that y'all thought that she was going to reveal him to her family? I kind of thought that way as far as at least she would go ahead and reveal her son to the family. That didn't happen. But we see that Grace's son shares his story about how he was put out at 18, and he basically tells her that he was in a foster home and at 18 they let him go because he was just money to them, you know what I'm saying? So it was time for him to go. We also see in this episode, Harmony wants Jacob's land. We find out that the people that wanted to buy Jacob's land was actually associated with Harmony. And we find out that Carissa actually knows this. And she doesn't tell Jacob, and she goes and signs the papers without thinking twice. Well, I think she kind of was hesitant, but god dang, the least she could have did was tell Jacob what was going on. So that's what's going on with that situation. Jacob's going to be so pissed when he finds out. We see Meg was sharp the whole show. Her outfits was so nice, like always. May always looks good for her. I mean, she looks good, and not just that, she looks good for her age. We see Noah plans to come back to get to know his son, which I think is a great idea. But I don't know how he's going to do this if this boy is supposed to be kept a secret. But we'll see how that plays out. And will Noah and Grace's relationship kindle back up once Noah comes back into town? I want to know how that goes. That should be interesting. That's all that I noticed in this episode that stood out for me. So that was all my review. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. If I missed anything, feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments below this episode. And I think that things that will be coming to this episode, or not this episode, but this show later on, this season. I think that this boy, of course, will be revealed. I think that the family's going to have to get to know this boy. I think that Grace wanted to actually tell her mother about the boy. She cried and she went upstairs and whatnot. I think she actually wants to get wants this secret off of her shoulders. I think the first person she should actually tell is May. I want to see what's going to happen where. I also want to see Charity go down. I want Carissa to go down too. I want them to hit bottom. I want them, you know what I'm saying? I want them to reap what they sow. I want to know what y'all thoughts are about this episode. Feel free to go ahead and give me your feedback about my review. Check out my other platforms. Also, feel free to look in the detail box and find look at the details, y'all, in the detail box. It got all my information. Feel free to come over to Facebook. I have a group over there. I would love to interact with you all. And this show, as far as my reviews, will be coming on Fridays. With that being said, I want to thank you all for listening.
Find Talking Out Loud with Jazzy 929 at Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Castbox, Deezer, Soundcloud, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Find merch at Redbubble.
Hi, Royal.